Evan's defense. This should be important. This one is unique to the game. I mean, crushing blows are also unique to this game and stuff, so the offensive stuff was unique. We're gonna learn the defensive stuff now. How do we break combos? How do we roll out of corners? How do we wake up attack? So on and so forth. And then the last one's frame data, apparently. I know how to read frame data, so I'm good, but we can look through it anyway. Many attacks will be too fast to correctly block by reacting to your opponent's actions. You need to anticipate your opponent's most likely attacks. Block while ducking to defend against high, mid, and low attacks. Yeah, if you block while ducking, the only thing that hits you will be overhits. Because highs will go over your head, mids and lows will be blocked. You want me to block in a way to attack while ducking, but most overheads are slow enough they can react to a switch to standing block. Your opponent will attempt to mix low and overheads to get past your defense. Yep, I've played Scout Girls, I know this. Alright, let's try this. Yep, that makes sense. Watch out for sequences of attacks and mix low and overhead attacks. Basically. That's fighting game blocking 101. Now we've got reversals. DP from the ground. Or something. Street Fighter doesn't let you do that anymore. They were like, no wake up DPs, and then they removed the invulnerability and everybody got mad. Okay, we can like push back on Okay, got it. So this is like immediate acting out of block. You can also perform a backdash to reversal to move away from block. The dashes are really small though. I don't see much use to them, honestly. Alright. Get up attacks. Or as we call it, wake up attacks. I think we can ukemi out of the corner as well. Can we ukemi? I think we can ukemi. I'm not sure. Alright, getting knocked down by your opponent puts you into a dangerous situation because you're free to move and start attacks until you get back up. Get up attack is a defensive move that can only be performed if the character is getting up after being knocked down. It causes half of your offensive and defensive gauges. Up back. Okay. Get up attack will start at the earliest possible moment after you get up, which can help you hit an opponent that's trying to attack as you stand. Simple enough. Get up attacks with up plus B are briefly invulnerable as the attack begins. This timing is very specific. You cannot mash it either. Yeah, it's very specific. Yeah, I remember some talk about this. Get up attacks are very precise. You need to learn the timing. Unfortunately. Alright. We can do a launch get. We can do a launch attack. Oops, I jumped it. Okay. Press them together. Okay. Got it. The get up attack can be risky as you're vulnerable from miss your opponent blocks. You can also spend... Yep, you can ukemi. Ukemi, got it. You're invulnerable to all attacks except trolls during the beginning of a get up roll. But you're vulnerable as it ends. Okay, I'm getting the timing down. Forward, get a broken, switch sides of an opponent. This is effective if you are in the corner. Simple. Sometimes waiting is the best option when you've been knocked down. You can delay your get up. Okay, that's good. So you hold Zack L to delay it. Simple enough. Alright, so those are all defensive options from a forward down. Flawless block. We got parries? I think we got parries. Okay. Alright, give me them parries. Be third strike now. Blocking the exact moment an opponent attacks connect with perform flawless block. Flawless block is difficult to execute, but will significantly reduce the amount of block damage that you take. Yep. Significantly reduced. That means you still take chip damage. Just not as much chip damage, I guess. Am I doing it early or late? There we go. Yeah, it's just frame perfect. Gotta be frame perfect, that's all. Oh wait, low block. I'm being an idiot. I was like, I kept tapping block and it's like, why isn't it working? It's a low. Alright. Parry the first hit and the rest of the hits will not do as much chip damage anymore as well. Got it. So parry if you... well, it's a just defend basically. If you just defend the first hit of a combo, the rest of them will do less chip damage as well. Just defend. It's early. There we go. Block attacks. What are block attacks? Teach me, what are block attacks? That's a term I've never heard of. You can perform a flawless block attack to immediately counter-attack your opponent. Huh. Now we gotta do just defend and then up X immediately. I'm doing it early, I think. Wow, that's very specific. These can start sooner than any other attack, but it costs half your offensive defensive gauges. Okay, so if you just defend, you can immediately attack at the cost of half of your bars. Okay, got it. Yeah. Ooh. Oh wow. Okay, so same as your wake up. Up B is invulnerable. Jade stuff is very loud. Oh yeah, you gotta buffer it. You gotta know it's coming. You gotta know you're about to just defend and then you immediately counterattack. Yep. And then up X or juggle. There we go. Alright, that's really complex stuff that's gonna be useful in competitive, but I don't think I'm gonna go that far. I ain't gonna be doing these just frames and just defense and all that nonsense. I'll just play plus frames and minus frames, yeah? I won't try too hard. I mean, I'll know it's there and I'll probably do it like every now and then. But against real people, you gotta like know all this stuff is coming and then you hit all the just frames. That's gonna require reflexes that probably beyond me. But okay, environmental interactions can be modified with additional inputs to change the behavior of the attack. You can aim the projectiles. Okay. Okay, makes sense. You can modify them to wall run to attacks as well. Okay, so everybody can wall jump basically, if that's available in all stages. A normal environmental interaction requires half of your defensive gauge to perform. You can expend all of your offensive gauge ability to amplify any environmental interaction to add armor. An amplified environment interaction is an expensive option. Be careful when absorbing attacks of armor, you will still take damage. Alright, got it. So you can EX move interactions to gain armor. And you can aim projectiles and attack out of a wall kick. Alright, breakaways. I believe this is the combo breaker. Now there's one thing I will give about MK11 over the older ones. It's a lot clearer when you're doing something that has special properties or whatever, especially armor. Like, you've got the color flashes now, you can tell. It's a lot easier. When opposed to using a juggle combo, it's possible to skip using a breakaway. Down plus Zekar. Got it. I gotta buffer it. You gotta hit both at the same time. Come on in, bro. Just after we reach the peak. Okay, got it. The character will fall faster and briefly gain armor during a breakaway. Breakaways cost all of your defensive gauge, so use them carefully. Basically. So you can escape juggles by doing that. It's important to save your gauge for doing that. Pretty much. Alright, and that's all the defensive stuff. Cool. We won't do the character specific ones. That's gonna take a while. But I guess we can go over strategy. I mean, it's good knowledge to have before we jump into story mode, right? We don't want to get our ass kicked too much. I just might skim this over. I know what frames are. Startup, active, and startup, the active, and the recovery. Alright, this got a longer startup, this one's got a longer startup, this got a longer startup. Active frames, yep. Active for 1 frame, active for 2 frames, active for 2 frames. Alright, this one's active for 3 frames. This one's active for 3 frames. This one is active for 4 frames. Moves are short. This one takes 13 frames to recover on miss. This takes 14 frames to recover on miss. This takes 17 frames to recover on miss. These are fast. This one has a long recovery time. Long recovery time. Long recovery time. Be careful about these, because you will be unsafe. Alright, hit advantage. This should be, if you're hitting an opponent on block and you hit with positive frames, you get to act immediately afterwards, and your opponent has to keep blocking, and they can't do anything about it. If they try and press buttons, they will lose to yours. Hit advantage recompense recovery time on both players of the attackers. Yep. Alright, so 9 frames of advantage on hit. Advantage after hit gives you the upper 10 for a short time. It's free to move and attack when the opponent is stuck in block. Or hit stun. Alright, 17 frames of advantage. We got a lot of time to confirm into combos. This is actually really useful for beginner fighters, I have to admit. Like, this is stuff that's like, yeah, this is actually a pretty good introduction. Like, they actually talk about frames and stuff. That's something not a lot of fighting games do. Alright. 18 frames of advantage on hit. Which means you can combo into like all sorts of wacky stuff afterwards. Potentially. Attacks that knock down your opponent are useful because you have much higher hit advantage. And stuff to stance. Yep. So you can do Kemi afterwards like that. For example, like you can start meatying them. You can Okizeme them and all the other stuff. Like that. See. I can start sticking hitboxes on top of them. Alright. 43 frames of advantage on hit if you hit this one. Which is a long overhead. It sends him to a sliding knockdown. Which means you can run up and start Ukemiing them. So this is how fighting games work. So that's on hit. I think we're going to talk about on block next. Yeah, there we go. Block advantage. So this is the crux of the stuff. This is something I learned more in depth when it came to Pokken because I was playing that a little bit more competitively. It's got to do with what happens when you hit someone on block. Because let's say 13 frames or whatever, it sounds like a lot of frames. But we got to consider what's the fastest move they can apply after block. So for example, 3 frames on block. This is pretty safe. I can just keep hitting. 7 frames of advantage on block on this one. So if the opponent does not have a move that starts in less than 7 frames, I can just keep doing stuff after. Or they can't attack me back. If attack has a block advantage of 0, both characters recover at the same time, and this will reset back to neutral. So we'll be both back to neutral after this. The opponent if the attack has negative block advantage, the opponent will recover before you do. This attack will have frame disadvantage on block, giving your opponent the upper hand to move first. So if this is blocked, it's it's minus 14 frames. So that one's not too bad. That just resets back to neutral. Because if the opponent has a move that, say, starts up in less than 13 frames, then your move is unsafe and they can punish you. If they do not have a move that starts in less than 13 frames, then they can punish you. So that's the difference between minus on block and unsafe. And yeah, chat's asking, can't remember the frame data for everyone in the fighting game. You don't actually have to memorize all the frame data. What it's useful for is determining, is this safe against this other character? What moves are safe against this character? What moves are minus on block? Which moves are positive on block? So for example, this move I'm gonna do minus 20 frames on block. So this is, so I'm pretty sure the opponent has moves that, like, say start up in 7 frames or something. So they can hit me afterwards. I will still be in recovery. So this move is unsafe. If I hit someone and it's like, say, minus 4 or something, if they do not have a move that starts in less than 4 frames, then we just reset back to neutral. It's just minus on block, and I can't do it, and that's it. If I'm positive on block, that means I have frame advantage. I can keep pressing buttons into the opponent, and they have to keep blocking. So that's the difference. Minus on block, positive on block, unsafe. So pretty sure this is unsafe. Because 20 frames is a lot. That's a third of a second. Yeah, there we go. They're going over unsafe attacks next. But yeah, in general, you don't memorize the raw frame data. You don't memorize like numbers and stuff. Although it's a good gauge. It's just more, okay, what's the fastest attack this guy has? and how much advantage or disadvantage do I have when I hit him on block with this move. Then that changes your game plan. It's like, I don't want to use this because it's unsafe against this guy, but this other guy doesn't have any fast moves, so I can just keep bullying him. That kind of thing. Yep, there we go. If the opponent blocks on your attacks and they are able to hit you before you recover from their attack, then their attack is unsafe on block. This is unsafe. They have a faster move. A skilled opponent will be able to consistently punish you with a counter attack if they block an attack that's unsafe on block. Yeah, they will straight up counter hit you. If it's you can tell if an attack is unsafe on block if it has a high block disadvantage. And if the opponent's attacks have fast enough startup time, we'll be able to hit your blocked attack before it recovers. Yeah, it's pretty much reiterating all the stuff that I just said. But it's good 101. Yeah, you gotta know what's unsafe and what's safe. This is block advantage of -14. Can be punished by slide. Yep, even if I hold block. Is this not the move? Oh, okay. You want me to use this one. You can be punished if an unsafe attack is blocked. This one is -12. They are best used in combos of interrupting an opponent that's committed to an attack. Yep, that's basically when you use these moves. And occasionally in Hail Mary reads. Safe attacks. Oh, this is pretty comprehensive. I'm impressed. Like, I'm genuinely impressed. Wow. They weren't wrong when they said this tutorial was pretty in-depth. This is basic. This is Fighting Games 101. More fighting games need to include this. Like this part at least. This is like basic stuff. I think Exert still has a better tutorial just for gamifying it. But yeah, alright. Attack is considered safe and block when it has been blocked, but the opponent has no attack that can hit you before you recover. Yeah. This is what I was talking about earlier. An attack can be minus and still technically be safe if the opponent doesn't have a move that's fast enough to punish it. Block advantage of 0 or more will always be safe on block. In other words, if you're left positive on block, then you will always recover faster than they will. Some attacks to block this advantage can still be safe on block. The opponent will recover quicker on block will have enough time to block and counter any attack that's a slower startup than your attack's block disadvantage. Yep, what I said. Yeah, there we go. I shouldn't even have gone ahead and talked about this. They're basically teaching it. Yeah, so let's say we have a sweep attack, it's -4, but the opponent doesn't have anything that startups faster than 4, so I can always block afterwards. Whereas if someone does have something that starts up in less than 4, then this move becomes unsafe on block against that character. So that's what I was talking about. You don't need to necessarily memorize the frame data for every move. You just need to know, okay, this one is safe against this guy, not safe against that guy, and then you change your game plan accordingly. So there we go. That's how it works. It's better to use attacks that are safe on block if your opponent has a good chance of blocking. Yep, so this is how block strings happen. Alright. Block string. That's a block string. After that, he's free to attack, but I'm free to block. It's called... And this is what they refer to when they talk about taking your turns. It's like, this is my turn, this is your turn. When people are commentating over fighting games and stuff, it's like they're just taking turns. That's what happens. Some attacks can have different block advantage depending on the distance at which your opponent blocks the attack. Ah yes, so this one's range. For example, let's say you've got a fast 3-frame punch or something, like in Street Fighter. You got a really quick jab, but you hit someone with a long range attack, like a long sweep or something, or maybe a Dawson limb or something. Even if they have a 3-frame punish, they can't reach you. So they can be safe on block at one distance, but unsafe on block in another, as mentioned. Alright, so... yeah, this mainly applies to projectiles, mostly. So, close range ice ball, punishable. Long range ice ball, not punishable. If you play Smash, that applies there as well, basically. You throw your projectiles in close range, you're still in recovery frames that can hit you. You throw it halfway across the map, they can't reach you in time. Same principle. Now we go about punishing. And this is why this is the part that, yeah, you don't memorize frame data, but you still need to study. You need to know what the opponent's unsafe moves are and learn how to recognize them. So it just comes down to recognizing, okay, this is when I can take my turn. This is when I don't take my turn and keep staying in block, because if I take my turn now, I will get hit. So that's the knowledge you need to keep in mind when you're playing fighting games. So it's not as bad as you think it is. It's not super technical and all the other stuff. Honestly, I'd say execution barrier is the more important, is the more tricky thing, like just frames and whatnot. Alright. Punishing. Yep. That's a punish. Startup frames of attack are less than a block disadvantage, then you can punish. You can tell if your counter attack has successfully punished an unsafe move if a punish message appears. So they tell you if you actually hit them on that. Is this not the right move? There you go. See, my sweep startup 12. The other attack minus 14. So I've got 2 frames where I can hit her without her holding block. So that's the knowledge and that's the execution. Attacks of fast startup can also start combos are the best attacks to punish your opponent with. Yeah. So you want to get your launchers. Okay, I missed the first hit there. I'm buffering too hard. So it's combo timing. The most important thing I'm struggling with right now in Mortal Kombat is combo timing, and that's because that's the thing you gotta relearn in every fighting game. The exact timing you need to hit the buttons at. There we go. Okay. Yeah, combo timing is different between games and even between characters, so that's something I think that is the biggest barrier, personally the biggest barrier to entry to fighting games. Learning to do anything more than just playing neutral and pressing like single hit buttons, that's the part that takes practice, and that's the execution barrier. But the actual you can make a game that's not too complicated, that's all just frame data and stuff, and it can work. In fact, Smash is kind of like that sometimes. Okay, yeah, some attacks can push you further back on block out of reach of your fastest attacks. So that's another thing as well, pushback. I think, like, if you play Pokken, one big example is Lucario's Bone Rush. The downward Bone Rush pushes you back, so even though technically it's unsafe and some characters can punish it, most can't because you just get pushed back on block too far for you to do anything. So in this case though, you can apparently use an attack that's got a longer range and you can still punish it. Right, so we block low, and then we go. Yeah, when do we gotta do a combo again. Dang it. Okay. It can be difficult to time a punish of a basic attack if its startup is barely fast enough to hit an unsafe attack. A reversal attack can be punishing easy in some situations. Ah, right. So those on block attacks. Sometimes you just wanna like punish somebody for hitting you on shield. Those are your fastest attacks, but you don't get combos afterwards. That's the thing. And that's the end of the frame data tutorial. Go. That was actually really informative. It was a good refresher on Fighting Game 101. I hope you guys found that as interesting as I did. They actually explained it far better than I would have. I'm surprised. I hope you guys found that interesting and stuff.